Hey everyone! In this video I want to talk about bipolar, anxiety, and eating issues, because I know that affects a lot of people, myself included. Oh, excuse me, I don't know what is up with my throat. Anyways, I have never had an eating disorder as far as like anorexia or bulimia or anything like that, but I do have some issues with food. And when I get depressed and anxious, I tend to stop eating and lose weight. And I know it can go either way, like some people eat less, some people eat more. In my case, it's less. So, I mean, either way, it's not healthy. It's not good for you. And I remember back during my worst depressed period ever, which was maybe like 6-7 years ago now, I had so much anxiety and I was so depressed and just in such a bad place that I actually got a stomach ulcer. And I noticed because when I would drink soda, my stomach would just burn. So I stopped drinking soda. Then it got to the point where anytime I ate anything or even just drank water, it would burn. So I stopped eating. And then it just burned all the time, regardless of whether I ate anything or not. So it was really horrible and very, very painful. And because of not eating, I lost a great amount of weight for my frame. I lost probably 20 pounds within a month. And I realized that I had lost weight because my clothes were bagging on me and stuff. But I guess I didn't think other people noticed it. And I didn't notice it as much either, because when it's gradual and you look at yourself every day, it's not like clear cut. But to other people, they started noticing. And one day my boss called me into her office and said, "Is everything all right? Because we noticed that you have lost a lot of weight." And I was just kind of like, wow, like I didn't even realize that they had noticed. And my boyfriend at the time, like, didn't say anything about it, but I think he did notice as well. And a little bit later I got out of that relationship and I was dating another guy, and he accused me of being bulimic. I guess because I was so skinny and because I didn't eat hardly around him. And of course I denied it and he didn't believe me, and that was really upsetting to me. And there was a time I was in the grocery store and this horrible old lady came up behind me and she goes, "How'd you get so skinny?" And I said, "It's in my genes," or something like that. And she said, "No, I mean, you're too skinny. What's wrong with you?" I was just flabbergasted and I was so upset. I almost left my stuff there and just walked out of the store, but I needed my stuff, so I didn't. But I mean, as I walked out, I was just thinking, how dare you? Who do you think you are to come up to me and say that? Obviously, I am going through something. It's none of your business what my personal problems are or why I'm so skinny or whatever, but it was just so upsetting to me. And so, you know, a lot of people did notice that I did not look healthy and I looked very frail. And I actually found a picture of me back then. So I don't know if you can see that. That's me, and you can see my legs are like sticks. I was so skinny and so emaciated, and it's really hard for me to look back on pictures from back then because I realized like I did not look good at all. And so I finally came out of the depression and my anxiety started to lessen and I was able to eat again. And I'm the kind of person where it's actually fairly easy for me to lose weight, but it's harder for me to gain weight. So it was probably like a year from the time that I lost that weight to a time when I actually was able to gain weight back and get healthier again. But it's still the same. It hasn't been as extreme since. I haven't lost that much weight since then, but the same thing happens. Whenever I get depressed or anxious or whatever, I eat less and less and less, and sometimes not at all. And I will lose weight, but not, like I said, that extreme anymore. And I'm more aware of it now too, so I try to force myself to eat even if I am depressed or anxious. Sometimes I can't, but I try to be aware of it and not let myself get to that point again. But to this day, I actually still have very bad eating habits. Even when I'm not depressed or anxious, I don't eat very much. Like, I wake up in the morning, I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat lunch. I drink coffee, and then I'll have a little bit of something to eat at dinner time and maybe some snacks like before bed. But that's about all I eat in a day. And I don't really know why I have that habit of not eating. It's kind of strange because even if I am hungry sometimes, I will tell myself not to eat. And like I say, I don't know why I do it. It's not a healthy thing to do, to deprive yourself of food. And sometimes I do have to force myself to eat something. But as I said, I don't consider myself to have an eating disorder because I don't think I'm fat, and I'm not purposely trying to lose weight or anything, but I do have somewhat of an issue with food. So that's just my experience with it. If you'd like to share your experience, I'd like to hear, do you have issues with food, overeating, undereating? Does your illness affect that at all? If you want to share, then feel free.